Hey everyone, and welcome to lesson 15 of our beginner guitar course. And this is the last of our beginner guitar video series, because if you've taken in everything that we've talked about over these last, 14 videos and 15 including this one, and you've put the time into practicing, you've learned these skills, then realistically you're probably not a beginner guitar player anymore. You should be able to play with other people comfortably, pick up songs that you like and you want to be able to play, and be able to get that sound out of your guitar, even some different techniques. And that's what's going to make it from you being a beginner guitar player to you being an intermediate guitar player at the very least. So I hope that you feel that, you recognize that in your own playing, that you're like, yeah, you know what, I'm no longer a beginner. I am a capable guitar player now, being able to play whatever I need to be considered a guitar player. So I hope that's what you feel. If not, then take some more time with these lessons and really get these techniques down, because that's what it's going to be all about. To get from that beginner stage to the intermediate stage, it's just about being comfortable playing this instrument, being comfortable playing different songs, different rhythms, in different keys with different chords. Like, once you get the hang of those basic skills, you're no longer a beginner guitar player. So I'm going to show you just a few techniques today to add to what you already know. I would say they're probably still more of the essential techniques that you may not know how they're done just yet, but they are helpful in being able to play guitar. And are they so essential that you could, not play guitar without them? No. But they are good to have, because they're stuff that you hear a lot when you are listening to people play guitar. And the first thing we're going to talk about is a hammer-on. And a hammer-on is when you have a note that's played on a string. So I'm just playing this third fret of my G string here. And let's say we want to go from that to the fifth string, or the fifth fret of the G string. Instead of just going one note and then playing the next note, you strum that string once, and then you throw your finger onto that fret that you want to hear the note from. So I'll show you that close up. So we're going to start with that third fret, and then we're going to push in on this fifth fret, okay? So that is called a hammer-on. So it's only one strum. So you may have, something you want to play. Where you're just getting that, it's a different sound. It's a bit of a different sound. And another way that you can end up playing this sort of same thing without just going from one note to the next is to slide. You've probably done this already, but I'll just cover it simply so that we're on the same page together. So let's say we take that same fret, that third fret of our G string, and we still want to get to that fifth fret. So we've done the hammer-on. Now let's do a slide. So you're going to take that note and just slide right in. So it can be like a... and slide back down. Okay, so now we've got our slide, and you can use these realistically on whatever notes you can reach, right? So let's say we're here on that third fret and we want to slide up to that 7th fret, or maybe we want to slide up to the 12th fret, right? That's fine, as long as you're just sliding from one note to the next. It doesn't really matter, as long as you can get there, it's still a slide. Hammer-ons, you are limited a bit by how much you can reach, so you can't go from the 3rd fret to the 12th fret. For most people, I guess, unless your hand is able to make that reach. Mine is not. I can probably comfortably get maybe about 4 frets above, so like a 5 fret reach with my pinky if I'm doing that. And even that still is not great. So you want to figure out what your limitation is there as far as what your fingers can reach and you can hammer on well. Generally, your middle finger and your ring finger are going to be much stronger for hammering on than your pinky finger. Your pinky finger can still do it. So that is your hammer-on technique and your slide to get from one note to the next. Now, when you're sliding, you can actually slide up and down. But with a hammer-on, it only works in that one direction. You have to play a note that's closer to the sound hole than the last one, a note that's a higher pitch on that same string. Well, what if we want to go down, right? What if we want to go back from that 5th fret to that 3rd fret? Well, you can play it just with one strum each, or you can use a technique called a pull-off. And it's called that because you're actually basically strumming this string with your fingering hand, with your chording hand. And this technique is a little bit more tricky than the other two because you have to get used to that pushing down of the fret and then sort of pulling and making that string strum at the same time. So I'll show you that a little close so you can see. But basically you're like pushing down on the string so it's making the noise of that note for the fret. And then you're kind of pulling down and trying to strum that string with your finger, okay? So a hammer-on and a pull-off. So you're not strumming that with your strumming hand. Okay, so you can hammer-on and pull-off without this hand at all. And that's been used for years and years, especially on electric guitar, to be able to get those sounds. So hopefully that's a little bit more to add just in what you've been able to play. Next is a bend. Now we've probably tried at least to just bend a single string on its own, right? And that's just by pushing the string. Usually if you put 2 fingers together, you have a better bend, just because you've got more strength in your hand to bend the string that way than just to try and use one finger. But the other thing you can do with a bend is actually play with 2 different notes. So let's say we take notes like this. So we've got our 2 lightest strings, our E string and our B string. I'm holding down the 5th fret of the E string, and I'm holding down the 8th fret of the B string. Now to play these together, these notes do not sound well together, they're clashing. But if you're able to push that note on your B string, now they're in tune with each other. So people have used that as well for years to get that in a bend. So that's just bending with multiple notes at the same time. And being able to utilize that may not be something that you're going to commonly come across, but it is something that you do hear from time to time within songs, and it's good to know what they're doing to get that sound. The last thing I'm going to show you today is actually getting a harmonic out of the guitar. Again, not the most commonly used thing, but you do hear it every once in a while. And the way that this works is by resting your finger just above the fret, but you're not pressing down. You're just resting your finger on the string. So before we've done this where we've like muted strings when we're strumming and just working on our strumming hand. Well, in this case, we're just going to use a one finger. And if you slowly work your way up over top of the frets. So you can hear that over that 5th fret. The strings actually sound different. And the 7th fret. And we're going to go all the way up to the 12th fret here. And the 12th fret sounds again. Now these harmonics are basically where the string naturally wants to resonate just from your finger resting upon it. So if we go again to some of these strings here, let's say we go to the 5th fret again, just by resting my finger across that fret, and the 7th fret, and again at the 12th fret, and you're just getting those natural harmonics of the guitar as you rest your finger on it. There's sometimes you get like a cool line, like a and you'll hear like that kind of just thrown into a song, which is just an interesting thing to add a bit more texture or flavor to what you're playing. Is it, again, an essential thing to know? Probably not essential in my opinion, but it's nice to know how they're getting that sound, because otherwise you'll be like, I don't know how that sound's even coming out of the instrument. Like, I've never been able to make that sound before. So knowing where the harmonics are and what they sound like is actually going to give you an advantage when you're listening to these things in songs and trying to identify what they are. You will be able to now know how they are accomplishing that particular sound. So I'm going to jump over to guitar now, and I'm going to show you a few of these techniques there, because that's probably the platform that you're used to hearing them on more than acoustic guitar. And then we're going to wrap up this beginner guitar series. So let's head over to electric guitar and hear some of those things now. And there it is. Lesson 15 is done, and so is our beginner guitar series. I hope that you have been able to see the improvement in your guitar playing. Maybe you've gone from absolutely playing no guitar at all to where you are today. But whatever the situation is, I hope that these videos have been helpful for you. I'm going to keep making guitar videos in the future, but they're just going to be videos that are specific on different topics, where we can kind of just deep dive into something and continue to grow as guitar players. I hope you've really enjoyed these. Please feel free to let me know in the comments if they've been helpful for you, or other things that you'd like to see me do in the future. But I just appreciate so much you being here, following through this series, and again, I hope it's been beneficial for you. Thank you so much. And as always, love you guys.